Oh yes, you're seeing exactly what you're seeing. This is Gara red critting and bleeding enemies. What's good, folks? It's Nightmare Frame here with a new Warframe video coming at you with a Red Crit Gara. And for those who may not know, Gara can't crit.
So wait, how are you critting with Gara?
We'll get to that, but first let's go over her ability, Shattered Lash. Her first ability, it's a pseudo exalted weapon, and for those who know, this is an ability that scales from both Warframe and melee equipped mods. And of course, Arcanes and other modifiers. I know, it's a little bit extra, but if you want to know more on how Gara's stat stick works and scales with every little bit of info, do go check out my Gara guide. Don't be disappointed if that one doesn't red crit, but I'll give you a general overview. Strength affects the base damage of Shattered Lash. However, melee equipped mods also increase the damage even further. This ability is a melee weapon and it has its own stats. It has 0% crit chance, 0% status chance, I know, and a 1.0 critical multiplier. This doesn't make sense, I know. Yet I'm able to red crit and apply status procs. Kind of exciting, right? But for those with keen eyes already know how this works. And I did test this live on stream. And if you haven't seen, do come on over. I'm using two individual items to make this work. One is Wrathful Advance. This is Kullervo's Helminth ability. It's his first ability that allows you to teleport to a target and grants you crit chance. Not any crit chance, but a flat modifier. The Helminth ability is the diminished version, meaning you get less crit chance and less range. So that means it requires a lot more strength to get that full 300% crit chance that we need. And some of you may be asking, why 300%? Well, at 300%, you are consistently red critting. There's another thing that you gotta do with this ability, and that's by changing its settings. Not anything grand, it's just by simply going to the options, invert tap hold abilities, go to Kullervo and swap it to inverted. That's it. This way, you're able to teleport with one click. Since this ability has two activations, your quick tap and hold cast. The hold cast is what allows you to teleport to a location. A tip with this ability: once you invert the settings, for the love of God, do not look at the enemy when you activate it. Just tilt your camera downwards or to a wall, because if your crosshairs make contact with an enemy, you will teleport to them, perform a heavy attack, and consume your combo. So now we've solved one issue, and that's the crits. Moving on to the second issue at hand, the status chance. How are we able to get status chance onto Gara? Well, using the ceramic dagger Incarnon adapter. Say that really fast 3 times. Now for those who don't know, I did release a ceramic dagger video where it showcases the Incarnon mode one-shotting level 9k demolists. However, in this build, we're going to use this as a stat stick for Gara. Remember, I did say Shattered Lash also requires melee equipped mods to make this work. But another interesting thing came up with the Incarnon adapters, especially the melee Incarnon adapters, as some of their evolutions affected pseudo exalted weapons. Aha! Let's go over the evolutions real quick. We already know Evolution 1 is activating Incarnon mode. And yes, this 100% melee base damage does boost Shattered Lash's damage. Onto the second evolution, Gun and Blade. This gives you 100 initial combo when you kill with your primary. Very useful, and it's the only good evolution that we're going to take here. Evolution 3, we're getting 20 additional initial combo, which stacks with the previous one. So in total, we're gonna get 7 times combo at base. Moving on to the final evolution, Absolute Dominion. This increases your status chance by 30%, meaning this will give Gara's Shattered Lash 30% base status chance. And what happens when you have that? Well, mods like Weeping Wounds will scale off of that 30% base status chance, giving you 162% status chance at max combo. Oh yeah, you heard that right. Now, with all this talk about combo and getting high combo multiplier, what does it actually do for Shattered Lash? For one, at 12 times combo, Shattered Lash gets a 3.75 times final damage multiplier. Another downside with Shattered Lash is that it cannot build combo. You actually have to physically hit enemies with your equipped melee weapon, and that built-up combo influences the damage of Shattered Lash. Another thing with Gara's Shattered Lash, it also has 2 activations, a quick tap and a hold cast. Its quick tap does puncture damage, while its hold cast is this large arcing swipe which deals slash damage. Reminder, this is just the damage and not the status effect. However, with the status chance increase, we are now able to proc the status effect of those damage types. And here is where we go and change the settings once again. We're gonna go to the invert tap hold settings and swap Gara to inverted. So now when we activate the ability, you will always get the arcing swipes to bleed the enemies. Alright, let's take a look at the builds. For the requirements, you're definitely going to need the Ceramic Dagger Incarnon Adapter. This is going to be your stat stick. Remember that I always say it doesn't matter what weapon to use when it comes to stat sticks. Well, if you want to proc status effects with Gara, you're going to need this weapon, just because of that status chance increase on the final evolution. And I do have Archon Shards on this build, just like the previous Gara video. So yes, I have 4 Crimson Archon Shards to give me 40% strength without even modding for it. And the Arcanes for this build. I do have Molt Augmented, granting me 60% strength at max stacks, which will now give me a total of 100% added strength combined with the Archon Shards. And Arcane Fury. On a critical hit, you have a 60% chance to gain 180% melee base damage, which also influences my Shattered Lash's damage, since it's a melee weapon. I'll be using Spectro Siphon. Spectro Rage's Augment. Enemies killed within the mirrors have a 50% chance to drop energy orbs. This is going to be our sustain, meaning you don't need Arcane Energize at all. And I'll also be using Magus Anomaly. While performing a transference, you will pull in enemies within 30 meters. Why do we need to do this? Well, it's to drag in enemies into my rotating mirrors. And if enemies are clumped up, it's easier to build up combo, because we always need to be at 12 times combo. And don't forget to have the 2 Dexterity Arcanes, both on your primary and secondary. You can pair both of these Arcanes with the Neramon Focus School, so you don't deplete your combo. In the aura, I have Brief Respite for that energy to shield conversion. Prime Surefooted. Spending less time on your butt is a huge DPS increase. Additional strength with Transient Fortitude and Umbral Intensify, giving me 99% strength. With all of these combined, I will have 299% crit chance with Wrathful Advance. Trust me, that 1% doesn't matter. As you can see in the background footage, I am always red critting. Range at 175%. This gives me 17.5 meters on my Shattered Lash. Imagine having a melee that has a swing radius of 17 meters. Oh yeah. Duration at 156% with Primed Continuity and Constitution. This provides me with 34 seconds on Splinter Storm, which is going to be my main source of survivability, as it grants me damage reduction, which can pair well with adaptation and a larger amount of shields. However, not in this case, as I'm using Rolling Guard. Rolling Guard is so useful to cleanse you of status effects and give you that 3 seconds of invulnerability. However, if you don't want to go the shield gate route, you can actually drop Rolling Guard in favor of adaptation, and it can still work arc, allowing you to have both a shield gating build and some damage reduction with adaptation, which is a more of a brain dead build. And of course, the Augment Spectro Siphon to give me those juicy energy drops. Alright, now let's move on to the Ceramic Dagger build. It's very simple and might blow your mind. Base damage with Prime Pressure Point. Weeping Wounds boosting my status chance at max combo. Buzzkill and Carnus Mandible to increase my slash weighting, and on top of that increases the damage of Shattered Lash. 2 elemental mods to form viral. Notice I'm not using the raw 90% elemental damage mods or the primed fever strike because I don't want to overcap my viral damage. If I had too much viral damage, I will only be proccing viral, and that's not what I want. I want to bleed enemies while having viral in there to multiply the damage my bleeds deal, while also granting me additional status chance. Weeping Wounds, the 2 60/60 elemental mods, and Carnus Mandible grants me a total of 216% status chance with Gara's Shattered Lash. That means we're going to be multi-proccing the bleeds with a single hit. And finally, the 2 crit damage mods. Since we're always red critting, you have to multiply the damage your crits deal. And this is it. The red critting, slashing Gara. Alright folks, that has been it from this video. I do hope you've enjoyed and learned something from it. And if you did, feel free to leave a like, share, and subscribe for more Warframe content, streams, and so much more. Do refer to the description. Thanks for watching, and as always, a peace. Bye-bye now.